the Ethiopian government is highly interested to share the best experiences of India in the IT sector, and both governments are planning to have a common project which is called an IT center to be established with the financial support of the Indian government. So I think this is a best opportunity to utilize from India's experience.
A farmer in Gambela holds a handful of dry soil. His fields used to lie fallow, water scarce, seeds unreliable. Then a shipment arrives, not food aid, but something more powerful. Hybrid seeds, modern tools, expertise from thousands of miles away in India. Within months, parched land blossoms into maize and pulses. Local markets swell. Hunger retreats gradually. That's when people realize this isn't charity, it's a partnership. And to understand how India became more than just an owner, how it became a catalyst for Ethiopia's agricultural transformation, we need to go way back first. India and Ethiopia have connections that stretch decades. Even before modern development aid, Ethiopian students studied in Indian universities. Technical experts traveled across continents. India's agricultural research experience, from battling droughts to maximizing monsoon yields, offered lessons. One of the early formal steps, India's Technical and Economic Cooperation Program (ITEC), under which Ethiopian professionals got trained in modern farming methods, irrigation, pest control, seed science. Indian research institutes shared hybrid seeds, fertilizers, and farm machinery technology. These weren't just gadgets, they were ideas about how to farm smarter under harsh climates. But the partnership wasn't always smooth. There were concerns about land, about whose voices matter. We'll get to those. Before that, though, something changed in the 2000s. Big Indian investments in Ethiopia started to shift the scale, and that opens a door to our next part. In the last 2 decades, Indian companies became among the largest foreign investors in Ethiopian agriculture. They leased or acquired large tracts of land to grow cash crops: cotton, sugarcane, oilseeds. Examples include Karuturi Global, which took on vast lands in Gambela. The impact here is layered. On one level, foreign capital brought infrastructure, irrigation, roads, storage dams. Jobs followed, though often fewer than hoped. On another level, locals raised questions. Are these lands being used in ways that benefit small farmers, or just large agribusiness? Are indigenous communities consulted? Does environmental damage follow? Some large projects offered promise. Others raised alarms. The story is not uniformly bright, but it sets the stage for some of the innovations Ethiopia adopted, many inspired by Indian models, and that leads into how knowledge exchange became central. India's role wasn't just financial. It sent experts, extension agents, helped train Ethiopian agronomists, shared techniques for irrigation, crop rotation, drought-resistant seeds. For example, there have been exchanges in sustainable and regenerative agriculture through joint workshops. Ethiopia observed India's farmer clusters, cooperatives, seed banks. India observed Ethiopia's work with commercialization clusters. The smallholder farmers in Ethiopia took up practices like intercropping, mixing different crops, crop rotation for example, pulses to restore soil nitrogen, and bio-inputs to reduce dependence on chemical fertilizers. These are slow shifts, but they matter because soil health, climate resilience, and nutrition all hang on them. And yet, these techniques alone weren't enough. Market access, storage, government policy also needed to catch up. That's our next piece. How trade, policy, and infrastructure shaped whether these agricultural gains transformed lives. Even if a farmer has good seed and knows modern farming, if there's no way to get inputs, transport harvest to market, or store crops safely, much of the yield is lost or wasted. India's support includes more than seeds. It includes infrastructure investment, credit lines, capacity building in commodity exchanges. For instance, in 2024, India committed to helping Ethiopia build its agricultural investment systems and commodity exchanges to share new technologies. Then there's the market side. Ethiopians exporting oilseeds, pulses, cotton, even coffee to India. A recent report from the Indian Embassy in Addis Ababa looked at those export opportunities: rail, storage, fertilizer supply, mechanization all have improved. There were hurdles, tax holidays, land leasing laws, local versus foreign ownership debates, and environmental concerns. But when policy supports the farmer rather than blocks them, yields go up, incomes rise. Still, even with policy and markets progressing, climate change, land degradation, and social equity issues loom large. The next section zeroes in on those challenges and how the partnership is trying to solve them. Large land acquisitions brought criticisms. Some projects displaced local people or failed to consult. In Gambela and other regions, forests were cleared. Indigenous communities voiced fears that their ways of living were under threat. There are environmental challenges too: droughts, soil erosion, unpredictable rains. Even with modern tech, if rainfall fails, yields fall. Plus, smallholders often lack capital to buy equipment. Women farmers may be overlooked. Distribution of benefits is uneven, but this has spurred new responses: regenerative agriculture, mixed cropping, crop rotation, seed banks, as mentioned earlier. Also, Ethiopia's formation of farmer production clusters, agricultural commercialization clusters help pool resources and bargaining power, and Indian technical assistance is being targeted to support these as well. The tough truth: not all farms thrive, not all communities benefit equally, but the push for equity is a significant thread in the partnership. And as we'll see, food security gains are real, but what do they look like on the ground for ordinary people? Let's walk into a village outside Adama. Before, families relied mostly on subsistence agriculture. Seasons of low rain meant weeks without food. Now, with improved seeds, access to credit, and better market access, maize and wheat yields have nearly doubled in some areas. Markets are no longer far away, they are local, regional, connected. To export opportunities, pulses beans, lentils, once marginal crops, are now central. They enrich soil, add protein to diets, reduce dependency on staples. Small farmers can sell surplus. Children sleep with less hunger. Import dependence for some food items declines. A study of exports shows that Ethiopia is increasingly supplying commodities like cotton, pulses, oilseeds into India, helping diversify income. The income helps build schools, clinics, homes. These aren't grand stories on TV. They are quiet, incremental shifts in thousands of villages. And yet there's still a way to go. Climate risks, price volatility, access to technology remain challenges, so the next section will push forward to what the future might hold and how this partnership could deepen. How do you scale from a few successful clusters to a whole country? One way is continued investment in climate-smart agriculture, drought-tolerant seeds, improved irrigation, water conservation. India has experience here and can help transfer those technologies. Also, improved seeds and bio-inputs need stronger supply chains inside Ethiopia. Storage, transport, cold chains, agro-processing all help reduce losses and increase value. When farmers process some of their produce locally, incomes rise. Another axis: empowering women and marginalized groups, ensuring land rights, fair access. If smallholders are left out, many of the benefits won't reach those who need them most. Finally, policy coherence, stable land lease laws, transparent investment deals, environmental protections, transparent consultation with locals, balancing foreign investment with local ownership. If all that happens, the partnership between India and Ethiopia could become a model for South-South cooperation, not aid, but shared growth rooted in knowledge, equity, resilience, from dry soil in Gambela to thriving fields in Adama. From uncertainty over land deals to small communities owning their growth. India's contribution to Ethiopia's agriculture has been complex, imperfect, but powerful. It's a story of seeds and soil, but also of ideas, policies, and people. They say you can give someone a fish, but if you teach them how to fish, they eat for a lifetime. India helped Ethiopia not just with fish, it helped with nets, fishing techniques, market boats. There are scars, there are missteps, but also hope. Because in the end, feeding a people is more than planting maize, it's about planting capacity, growing partnerships, nourishing dignity. And in that, the story of India and Ethiopia is far from over.